I'm gonna hit record,
Oh,
share.
what
All
happened
right.
here?
Morning, team. Morning, morning.
Morning.
Good morning.
Morning. Hey, Mr. Matt. I see you there, my friend.
Yeah, we just got to meet him.
Awesome. Oh, heck yeah. And Robert. What's up? What's up? Those are my
Good morning.
those are our people.
To see
Fun.
your shining faces.
Good
I
morning,
like
everybody. All
I like
right.
I like this background. This is
Me
nice.
too. That's awesome. Let us look at that for a minute. That's cool, Kristen.
What? Oh, I showed the wrong thing. Is it my vision board?
It's your
Yeah,
vision
that's your
board.
screen.
Well, there's my vision board, everybody.
Oh, dude.
I'm like, you guys, it's the same slide. What's cool about it? That's funny. All right, Kyle, take it away.
All right. Well, welcome everybody. Man, February. We were just getting done saying
Woo.
how big of a month January was, and it was a long month. In some good ways and in some long ways. But it was a good month. But excited for February. We were just also saying how perfectly symmetrical and like outlined February is, and Danny on his call last night said that this won't happen again for like, what'd you say, Mom? 800 years or something
Yeah, like
crazy.
823 years. This won't happen for February.
So
Perfectly.
this is going to be a great month for a lot of reasons. But yeah, take a peek here. Obviously, we have pretty standard calendars. Things to note: we are on the second here, but Leads Learning Hour, National Call Wednesday. Definitely plug into that. And then Thursday is going to be the sales deep dive. And then Friday, be sure to plug into the Shank Master Agency call. It's going to be at the same time, 10 Mountain, 11 Central for that one as well. And then our weekly call schedule. Again, these are the live links, but you can take a screenshot of this as well. And these will take you right to all of those calls. So just having these on your radar to be able to get to those when you can. And then to point out and highlight some of these calls, we have the Elevate Forward call. That's hosted by Jeff and Tim Coates. And that is going to be, learning, growing together. Just come with questions, casework challenges, tips, best practices, objection handling, whatever that might be, y'all. Definitely dive into that. That's going to be Monday, Wednesday, and Friday. You can see the times below there. And then another great call that we have is Protection Pros, and that is with Miss Gabrielle, who we will be hearing from today, and also Holly Hensley. And then Friday will be with Ben. So definitely, again, a great call to jump onto, y'all. And plug into there. And then FIF resets. We are a team that does FIF resets and we do them well. So where do we learn to do them well is going to be on the FIF resets call. That's going to be with our own Daniel Cucciara and then Amy Warren, who's in the Shank Master Agency call. That is the second and fourth Monday of every month. So again, it's a revamped kind of slide deck of that. And so definitely plug into that, you guys, even if you've been there in the last couple months, plug in recently for new updates that way too.
I didn't get this added to the slide deck, but we did want to just mention the FAO call, future AO call, and just remind anybody on here that considers themselves a builder. We do have some metrics you'll want to be hitting before we can get you on that call, but it has been such a great call every Tuesday morning, and we would love, love, love to have more people on that one. So if you're curious on how to get involved in that call, reach out to your upline and I'll get something added to this to just keep that top of mind for us as well.
Yeah, definitely. And then again, just to point out a Slack channel that we have, the Newbie Network. So that for those of you that are new, Matthew, I know you're plugged in there and others, but for agents in the first 90 days are in pre-licensing. So the goal of this is to just reach out to people that are in a similar stage of the business with you and to be able to meet up with them, obviously get to know people, which is just super fun, find running buddies, things like that, ask questions, share wins, all those good things. If you're working through state licensing and things like that, tips and tricks to get through it as quick as possible. If you're having trouble with fingerprints or whatever that might be, again, that is a good space just to throw in information, questions that you have there. And then we also are having that moderated by people like myself and other leaders on the call so that we can get to questions and help them get answered quickly as well. So definitely plug in there if you have any questions for the new people. And then Ignite. We talked about this Friday, and we had an incredible call just by some of our very own. But man, if you guys haven't watched if you weren't on the call Friday, be sure to go back and watch it. And it's just honestly scramble to when Jeff talks about yeah, Ignite and just what it did, what it does, and what it's going to do for your business. But we want to see you there. And March 16th through the 18th, tickets are going very quickly, especially after the last couple calls that we've had highlighting Ignite. And so if you have questions about it, reach out to your upline. The tickets are going fast, but we would love to see as many people on this call from our team at Ignite if you can make it. So it's going to be fun. It is going to be absolutely an incredible time. Right. And then this is the live dial schedule. And we're trying to get more and more people on this. But again, this is not just for people that have been in the business for a while. This can be for new people as well. So we would really highly recommend if you are in your first couple dials and you want to be brave, you want to get feedback, this is an incredible place to practice what you're learning, practice what you're putting into play every single day with your scripts, handling objections. And ask your upline, ask one of us to be on that call to help coach you through that. But again, anybody and everybody can sign up for this. And then you can obviously find this to see when other people are signed up so that you can lean in and learn while other people are dialing as well. And a huge welcome to the team, Dan Trumbull. That is so fun to see you on the call. Welcome, Dan. We got Eric, Brian, and Isaac. All direct to Cucciara and Company, and then Dan Trumbull direct to Jennifer and Kevin. Welcome to the team, y'all. So excited you're here. Production milestone. Man, 250,000 in submitted business. Jeff, good work, man. That is it's crazy. 250K was most of that. A lot of that was done in the last 6 months, right? So that is just incredible work, man. And the next 250 is going to be here quickly. So congrats. And then Weekend Warriors. We got Alona and myself. It's cut off here. I think it's one app, 1,616, and then myself, two apps, 370. Weekend Warriors. And we got 2026 direct new writers year to date. We all got one here, Dave, Jennifer, Jeff, all got one new writer. So congrats to that. And again, I know this is going to be something going up over the next probably couple weeks. So a lot of new people coming onto the team, which is going to be a lot more new writers. And then shout out to Aaron, direct to Jeff for becoming a new writer as well, man. Congrats. And then this is sweet. First application on a lead. So to break this down, again, you can kind of see at the bottom here of the screenshot, but this would be two leads, $36.55 for a total of 3,521 APV. So it's just fun, again, to see what that ROI is going to be like. Again, some of these will be on bonus leads, some of them will be on A leads, but it's cool to track some of that ROI, especially when you're writing your first couple apps on new leads. So congrats, Manny. Well earned, well deserved, and excited for more from you, man.
That's so awesome.
Kristen?
All right, 5K by Friday. We have 5. That's perfect. So Manny, Daniel, Gabs, Jeff, and Tim Coates. Manny sitting at 66.75, Daniel 78.87, Gabs 89.78, Jeff at 9,056, and Mr. Tim Coates with APV loading. I love to see that. Love to see it. And there it is, 11,623 APV on the week. Tim Coates. That's fantastic. Congrats, friend. It's a big, big week. And here's how it shakes out for the base shop. So Jennifer Gaines base shop with 8 writers, 1 new, 25 applications just last week with 31,142 in submitted business. Year to date is the entire month of January. So as you can see, that was a big, big January. Last week, Tim Coates leading the charge, of course, Jeff and Manny top 3. Congrats to everybody on the board. I won't read off everybody here, but definitely want to shout out Aaron for having that first application. Huge deal. Huge deal. And last week in Kyle and I's base shop, we had 5 writers, 20 applications for 20,000 submit. So there's the symmetry average for you. And then Gabrielle leading the charge, 12 apps, 89.78. Daniel, Greg with 2 applications and a reset. That's so fun, 22.55. And then myself and Tammy on the board as well. Great job, team. Wow, 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 wow. That is a big, big January. 22 riders in total, you guys, 189, almost 190,000 submitted as an entire team, which is this entire call. So congratulations to the 22 of you that wrote business and to everyone also just working really hard to get on this board. I think we're going to beat 22 for February. But congratulations, 131 applications, and Jeff finishing his agency owner. Goodness, I won't call it a run, but you finished so strong on that 3-month stretch to achieve those numbers, Jeff. And I think you need a nap or something because wow, that was phenomenal to watch you finish so strong. I can't wait to watch it all shake out. And then Tim Coates with 23 applications as well, 20,000 in submitted business. Gabrielle at 18,021 apps, and then everyone else can find themselves. But congratulations on a fantastic start to 2026, everyone. It's really fun. Future agency owners, 4 teams on the road. And of course, led by Mr. Jeff Lipson, who just rounded out month 3 of those AO numbers with 9 riders. 2 of them were new and just under 100,000 in submitted business, which is a bit mind-blowing, my friend, in team. So congrats to everyone that contributed to that. It's a team effort for sure. And then Team Cucciara, absolutely amazing. 3 riders, 34,749 in submitted business, and a lot of new people getting up and running. I have a feeling this is going to be growing soon. Team Coates, 2 riders, 29,000 in submitted business. Fantastic work, Team Coates. And Team Calibrew with 3 riders, one of those being new, and 19,000 in submitted business, which is fantastic. And I have a feeling that's probably some team leader numbers or close, if I had to guess. So congratulations to everyone. 100 Families Served Challenge, of course, is started over at the new year, and we're already sitting at 134, which is very, very cool. And Jeff and Tim are leading at 23 and Gabrielle at 21. The rest of us have got some work to do to chase those 3. So we can do it. We can do it. The Great 8, you guys, take a screenshot of this. If you don't have it already saved, make it your background with put it in your vision board. I don't know. But if you're struggling with something in your business, it's going to come back to one of these 8 things, which are belief, massive action, constant correction, aka failing forward, personal development, association, resources, system, activity, and schedule. So that's our business right there. And this is a fun new slide, which is basically you are in control of your promotions around here. So we have all these beautiful bubbles, and we'll have some more getting added once you officially write your first app. We'll get you added to this slide. But this breaks down how simple it is to get from an 80 to a 95%. If you are on one of these contract levels, you should be quickly getting off of it because these are the most attainable contract promotions you can get at Symmetry. And essentially, you're getting paid 15% more for doing the exact same work. So keep this top of mind, you guys. If you want to be a profitable agent here, don't stay on an 80%. We want to get a lot of these bubbles. Gamify this, like make it fun, find a running buddy, get off that contract and get to a 95. We want everybody there and beyond. So super fun. I know a lot of you guys are working hard towards that this month. And connect calls. Oh, Mr. Jeff Lifson has officially been added. That's very fun. But of course, as you guys know, if you want to talk to someone on this team or pick someone's brain, everybody is always available when they can be. So That is it for announcements. Jennifer, did you have anything to add?
Sure. Great job, you guys. This was absolutely a record month for our master agency. I can't see everybody, but put a one in the chat if you drink coffee from Starbucks.
Depends.
Okay. All right. I was just trying to get a gauge because we might do a little Starbucks team, you
Fun.
know, like available. I don't know how it works yet, so I'm gonna have to get with Kristen, but we might have a little Starbucks. Okay, no, Kyle, so I don't need to include you in this.
I'll take his.
Like a little gift card type of thing. So anyway, I just wanted to get an idea. But anyway,
Very fun.
awesome job, you guys, and just such an amazing start to 2026 bonkers. But also want to give a quick shout out. I just time wise was a little rushed this morning, but Tim Coates on the Danny Young call last night, number one producer with 13 applications, the number 7 producer overall. Gabrielle, number 12 applications. I think you were number 8. Jeff, the number 1 producer for the month. The
Wow.
number 1 producer for the month out
That
of
deserves confetti.
577 writers.
Whew.
Just so fun. And with Tim and Gabrielle, you guys hit those numbers out of 250 writers for the week last week. So, like, you guys are so impressive. So impressive. This team is so impressive. So, anyway, well done.
That's so cool. I remember when we started, I remember seeing people at the top of those boards. And I'm like, I wonder what it must be like to know somebody like at the number one spot. Now it's this team, which is so cool. So
Very cool. Congrats,
that is so
everyone.
cool. And beautiful timing because Miss Gabrielle has agreed to join me and bring some value to the team today when it comes to referral business and policy reviews. So, this is most definitely going to be a call that you guys are going to want to take notes. So, get ready for that. I'm going to share my screen again, and then I'll spotlight you, Gab, so everyone can see.
Sounds great.
Yeah. We titled this Maximizing Your Business Through Referrals and Policy Reviews. And that is the whole point, right? We want to maximize every little drop we can out of the leads you guys are investing in and see that we can multiply the return on investment just by adding a few things into our sales process. And so that's what today is going to be all about. Let me get you Gabs. Add. There we go.
Cool.
Cool. All right, Gabs, I'll throw it over to you.
Sweet. Gosh, this process has changed my business so much, and I'm really excited to bring it to the team today. This has been years of refining, if I'm honest, and just finding ways to integrate this with all of the awesome systems that we have here and all the awesome resources that we have. So we have some fun things lined up for you guys. Did we want to start with just a simple role play, Kristen? Is
Yeah,
that what
we
we talked
thought
about?
we did. We did. Yeah.
Okay.
Let me double check this next slide. Yep.
Sweet. Sweet. So, first things first, guys, your referral process actually starts the minute that you make your sale. So, as soon as you finish the application on that same appointment, you're going to use some verbiage like this. All right, Kristen, I have your application off to the underwriter. What we're going to do now is set up an appointment, quick policy review for you and I about a week from now. Does this same time next week work for you?
Yeah, this is always a good time for me.
Awesome. I'll go ahead and add that to my calendar. And we're just going to briefly review what we got in place for you, make sure that all our I's are dotted and that our T's are crossed. If you have additional questions that come up in this next week, we can also get those answered for you next week. Does that work for you?
Yeah, that sounds good. Will that be like
Awesome.
a Zoom call again or just a phone call?
Yeah, we're going to do a video call just so I can share my screen. We can review your policy details together once that's been issued.
Okay. Yeah, that sounds great.
Awesome. And if for any reason we have any hiccups with the application process, we'll just have a time on the calendar to review those together. So either way, it'll benefit both of us. I'll go ahead and add you to my calendar and you'll get that confirmation text from me shortly, okay?
Perfect. Perfect. Okay.
Awesome.
That's perfect. Yeah.
This would be if I was just connecting with Kristen, if you guys do know that the beneficiary is the spouse, and they're in the house and it's really easy for them to join the appointment, you would want to ask for them to be present as well. Just, hey, Kristen, since Kyle's the beneficiary in this policy, would he be able to join us just to kind of go over everything at that time?
Sure.
Awesome. Sounds good. Well, I look forward to seeing both of you next week.
Perfect.
Awesome. So
How
scheduling
easy
your
is
policy,
that?
that's too easy.
That's too easy.
That's too easy. No, it's great. The policy review, guys, that regardless of what you're doing, serves so many awesome purposes. What I love to do, whether my client's been approved or not, is set that up so that if they do get a decline, you have a time on the calendar already to go back and give them some additional options, kind of schedule that out so that you're not chasing them down. Oh, they weren't able to approve you. Can we find another time to connect? You already have it on the calendar. So the policy review, that's going to be great for the referral process that we look at for a little bit, but it's also going to be really good for sticky business. Sometimes people get buyer's remorse. I know I do after I make a big purchase. And so it also gives you face time with your client about a week from now to remind them why they got the policy, why it's so important, what they got it in place for, instead of just leaving them with possible questions that they take to another agent. That's where we see some chargebacks. So policy review 1 week later, we'll keep it really simple on that end.
I love that. Just out of curiosity, like throw one in a chat if you've been afraid to do this because you think your clients are going to retract their policy and not want what you just sold them a week ago. Jennifer, I appreciate your honesty. Yeah, like it's super real. And I don't know why I just yelled at you because that's why I haven't done it too. I just thought you'd be better than me. I thought you would be better than me.
Well,
Oh,
it's
so funny.
hard. It's not hard, but it's like getting out of our own way and getting out of our comfort zone is hard. That's
Yes.
what's hard. This process couldn't be simpler.
Yeah, I agree. And I felt that for a long time, which is why I've like dabbled in it and then it like doesn't stick and then I get scared and I stop trying. But I watch you do this really faithfully, Gabrielle, and I know that that is a big reason why your schedule is fuller than mine. And that's when I'm like, how are you filling in those gaps with the digital leads that a lot of us are power dialing week one, but then it's kind of like, okay, I don't have as much on the calendar those next weeks, and you've told me like it's so much of this. And so, yeah, it's so simple, but it's just as easy not to do. So I feel that.
Totally.
Does anybody need to hear the verbiage from Gabrielle one more time for it to really sink in on how to wrap up every single appointment that you sell? Okay. Do you mind doing it one more time, Gabrielle?
Not at all. I wanted to answer Jennifer's question really quick too. I get an extremely high show rate for the policy review. Extremely high. I think your clients want another opportunity to talk with you after you put the application in place. It puts their mind at ease to know, like, oh, they're available. We're going over this. I I could probably count on one hand how many times I've gotten a no-show. At the very least, I've gotten reschedules, but like very high show rate.
That's awesome.
Can I ask one other thing really quick just for us? Like you mentioned something about not like that's when you might tell them if they didn't get approved. That's where you go over that in that appointment. Like, do you not tell them if you have to pivot to something else, do you wait until that appointment or is it maybe different for each client?
Yeah, most of the time I'll say, hey, a couple of things flagged on your application, and I'll bring up like if they got declined, the specific question. It was in regards to this question. Can you tell me if there is anything that you know that could relate to this that we forgot to mention? And if they have an answer for me, that's ideal. Then on that policy review, I will have the next best policy pulled up for them. If I can, I will even transfer over some of the information and I'll say, hey, because of the change in information that you gave me, this was no longer a good fit. But I have your second option ready to go, ready for signatures. Do you want to accept their offer at this price point, or do we need to adjust it? And then we're doing that on the policy review.
So good. Cool.
Awesome.
Okay.
From
So
the top?
yeah, we'll do it one more time. Gabs just wrote a
Okay.
big old policy on me.
Awesome. Kristen, I'm so glad that we approved you for this policy. Fingers crossed that we can get you approved for this rate. What we're going to do from here is schedule what we call a policy review. It's a 10 or 15-minute call. I'm going to look at about a week out. What's your schedule like this time next week?
Yeah, this time's always good for me.
Awesome. Awesome. So we're going to do a quick video chat together just once we hear back about the status of your application to make sure that all our I's are dotted and our T's are crossed. If you have questions that come up in this next week, this will give you a good opportunity to run those past me at that time as well. We just want to make sure that everything looks good with the application. Now, if you do get approved in the meantime, I will absolutely reach out and let you know, but we'll go ahead and keep our appointment just so we can review everything that you have down and make sure everything looks good. Does that sound like a good plan?
Mm-hmm. Yeah, that sounds good.
Okay. Since Kyle's the beneficiary on the plan, I know that he'll want to be a part of the call. Will he be available at that same time as well?
Yes.
Okay, awesome. So I'll have you both there. I'll put you on my calendar and just shoot you a link for our call closer to that appointment time for next week, okay?
Cool. And if Kyle can't make it, would we need to reschedule or is it okay if it's just me?
I would love for him to be a part of that call, as important as it is to make sure we get you approved, Kristen. It's even more important for him to understand what we've set up since he's going to be the one making the claim. So if that time doesn't work for both of you, you can just let me know in advance and we'll get you rescheduled.
Okay, yeah, that definitely makes sense.
Awesome. All righty. Well, I'm glad that we got this process started for you today, Kristen, and you and I will be in touch.
Beautiful. That's
Awesome.
so good. Cool. Any questions on that bit before we move on, you guys? Pretty simple. Such good verbiage. Gabs makes it look really easy, but that's because she's practiced this a lot. Cool. Okay, we'll keep chugging. So, policy review is set. This is a couple of resources we want to touch on as something Gabrielle and I are both challenging ourselves to improve on this year. So, this document you're seeing on the right side is a document we will get you guys the link for right now, actually. Let me throw these in the chat so you guys can have them. Feel free to make a copy of this. This is a policy delivery email, you guys. This is not required, but this is where we as a team can start going above and beyond to serve our clients and help them make sure they have everything in one place. Like if you bought a life insurance policy from a broker you found online or that called you through the phone, would you appreciate if someone sent you an email with the link to your online portal, your policy information, your policy number, letting you know it was approved, what carrier is it with? Like, this is the information that clients will randomly be calling you asking, I never saw this or I can't find this.
Mm-hmm.
And this way you can easily reference, hey, I sent you an email back on the 15th. It's actually titled, Your policy is approved. Here are your next steps. That should be the subject. And it has all of that information right in there for you. And then if you want to take it a step further, Gabs and I came up with this pretty little document that they could print. So in this email, you'll see I have attached a PDF summary of your coverage. Please print it and keep it with your important documents. So that way, if you want to go above and beyond and give every client a one pager that tells them their premium, the term length, the coverage amount, the policy number, the carrier, add a special little note. Like these are the things that will get you guys more referrals because people will appreciate you taking the time to care enough to do something like this. And then making sure they have your business card. So if they want to share your information with a friend or they want to just print this and put it with your policy, they will know who to call. So I think this is just so important. I know Jennifer used to do this like handwritten, and I know that can get really,
So
really
cool.
time consuming, especially as you all start building a team. It's easy to make that something that is the last on the to-do list, I found that the email makes it a little bit more attainable because I used to do the cards written and now I do the digital. And I just put time on my calendar every Friday. So I have a slot that says send policy delivery emails. So then I don't have to do it every day, but I do it every Friday for every client I helped that week, which I find helps me. It's kind of like a little admin time right before the shank call. That's when I send them.
I love it.
Um, yeah. Anything to add, Gabs, on that one?
I do. The reason that we put this slide here on the grand timeline is because after you write the application, you're scheduling your policy review. You've given yourself a week to find out if the client has been approved. If they're approved, you're going to send them this summary email as soon as the policy's been issued. So that's going to be before your policy review. The reason that I like to do this is because I reference this email in our policy review if they've been reviewed. I say, hey, did you get that email from me? Did you log into your online portal? Were you able to see your policy? Because generally, since we're only scheduling a week out, they don't have a physical copy in their hands yet. Some of my clients, I'm sure you've all had this, have had the one client who's like, is my coverage even real? I haven't gotten my policy in the mail yet. Like they just start freaking out. I let them know, here is your digital copy. It's in place. It's been issued. Please review this and you'll get your physical copy in just a week or two. So to answer your question, Jennifer, we're sending this before the policy review. Also, I just love giving them the option to like print out that PDF. But if you guys do want to do it kind of pen and paper, you can absolutely use Kristen's awesome template here to create something that you print and send to your own clients. I think that
Totally.
handwritten touches are awesome. But yeah, I love the idea that they can come back and just reference this summary email at any time when they have questions, just to remember, okay, this is my coverage. This is where it is. That's all I'll add to that one.
Yeah. The only other thing we'll mention is just to be clear, this is the portion you will send to your client. And then right here where it says link to register is where you'll copy in the carrier you wrote on the appointment. I know that kind of goes without saying, but just be careful not to like send all of these carrier links. Those are just for you guys to have quick access. And then if you do write more than one policy, you can just copy this section here and put another one. So like if you did the spouse, you could be like Gabrielle's policy,
Mhm.
and then below that I would say Daniel's policy and that way. So it's really customizable, but we just thought this would be a good starting point for you guys as well.
Mhm.
Beautiful. Okay, that's that one. Wow. Me giggling at this.
1 week later.
That's our SpongeBob reference for the 1 week later policy review.
Perfect. I loved that so
That
much.
was for
That was
our
what I needed
husbands.
this morning. Born and raised in the SpongeBob era. Awesome. So it's been a week. Your client is showing up to your policy review because we let you know, you've got that high show rate. You're going to do a video call. This is the order in which I ask these questions. So you're more than welcome to screenshot this. And then we'll go ahead and I'll go through some verbiage with you guys. We'll role play it just a little bit, but these are just the main points that you want to be hitting on. So Kristen, it's so good to see you again. How was your week?
Just great.
Good. I am so glad to hear that. This call is going to be really short, Kristen. We've got
Perfect.
10 or 15 minutes just to review what we set up for you, make sure that all of that is good.
Hmm.
First things first, since you were approved, I wanted to make sure, did your policy draft okay?
It did, and I got that email, so I got into my portal as well.
Oh, good. Okay, great. That's why we send that over. And how's that policy date for you? Do you like it drafting on the 15th, or do we need to change that date for next month?
Yeah, I mean, if we could change it to be later in the month, I'd prefer that.
We absolutely can do that. When would be a preference for you?
Like the last Friday, can you do that?
Last Friday of every month?
Hmm.
I should be able to set that up. I'll put that on my to-do list and contact the carrier
Okay.
for you. And again, that won't go into place this month since you've already paid. This will be for next month and every month after. Okay.
Totally fine.
Awesome. Very good. Now, a few things that I want to make sure we do real quickly here, Kristen. It's just some clerical work. I'm going to make sure that we have all the correct information on the application. If anything's wrong and your beneficiary goes to make a claim, you can create some hiccups in the claims process if they're providing information that's different than what's on the application. So real quick, I have your name spelled as this and this. Last four of your social is this. Your birthday is this. And
Yes.
I'm just reading through, reading through all the beginning parts just to make sure address, phone number, things like that, that those are all good. Awesome. Nothing to change there. That all looked good, Kristen.
Yeah.
Awesome. Well, great. As a reminder, because believe it or not, some of my clients completely forget what we set up for them a week later. What we set up for you today or last week, got you approved for, was a full mortgage payoff in the amount of $500,000, and that's on a 30-year term. So it covers the entire length of your mortgage loan, and it's going to pay off the entire mortgage if you pass away from any reason, whether that be natural, accidental. And I want to remind you of those three awesome living benefits we talked about. If you do get any terminal illnesses, chronic illnesses, or need any kind of confined care, this policy has you covered on all of those fronts, okay?
Perfect.
And I know we set Kyle up as the beneficiary for the policy. So he would be taken care of. He'd be able to make that claim if any of those did come into play. Are we feeling pretty content with Kyle as the primary beneficiary?
Yeah.
Okay, wonderful. I want to make sure, Kristen, after some consideration, does that amount sufficiently cover all of your needs in a time of crisis? I know we have the mortgage covered, but is there any other expenses, like final expenses that would need to be taken care of?
I mean, we don't have any kids right now. I think that would probably be fine, but maybe if we have kids down the road, we could add more.
Absolutely. Yeah, most of the people, that I speak with that's your guys' age have awesome policies through work. We have the bulk of your debt taken care of here. The only other thing that would be a concern is final expenses like funeral and burial expenses. Do you guys have anything set up for that?
No.
Okay. I think that'd be worth taking a look at for you guys. I'm happy to pull together a couple quotes for you. Do you
Okay.
think that that would add some value just to know that final expenses would be taken care of as well?
I guess what makes that difference than kind of like what I already have? Like if the mortgage is paid down
Great
a little
question.
bit, why would I really need more? I don't know.
Yeah, no, that's a great question. So what we have set up for you, Kristen, is a term.
Hmm.
Because your loan is a term, it's going to expire in 30 years. Once that's paid off, the
Hmm.
only other real coverage that you'd want to look at having is something that would pay for funeral and burial expenses. On average, those are around 25 grand, but we really want to make sure we're covering those outside of your working years. And so getting some kind of permanent coverage versus a term like we already set up for you would give you the opportunity to get a great price in while you're young that would cover those, just for a crisis down the road. Now, if you have that set up already, then we can just circle back. But if you guys don't have that set up, it'd be worth taking a look at.
Yeah, that makes sense. Let's look at that.
Okay, awesome. Pause. That's what I would do if I was talking to somebody who was young and we got them a term. I would add final expense to them. Um, There's another scenario in which what we got set up for them was only the equity protection, and they probably have final expense set up. So if we rewind a little bit and pretend like what we got set up for Kristen was equity protection, like
I'm
a
now
year's worth. Perfect. Can you change your voice?
no.
Okay. So let's say we got a year's worth of coverage set up for her. I would take some time to make sure she had final expenses set up as well. To say, like, okay, I'm glad that we have the mortgage taken care of. Do you have your final expenses taken care of as well? If not, we'd add that. This is the last thing that I want to say. If they're covered on all of that, they have all of their expenses taken care of, and mortgage protection was just the final piece of the puzzle, then my verbiage would sound a little bit like this. Awesome. It sounds like you have everything covered, Kristen, which is great. right? I wanted to let you know actually that I did get an offer after you were approved. You were also pre-approved for something that we call double indemnity. Have you heard of that?
Nope.
Double indemnity. Double indemnity is basically an additional benefit that you can add to your current coverage for really cheap. It would pay out double your coverage if you passed from any catastrophic causes. This would be things like motor vehicle accidents, injuries resulting in your passing. You passed away during surgery, and I've had that before. Anything along those lines. It's an additional $12 a month. Is that something that you'd want to add to your plan?
Sure.
Okay. Awesome. Like I said, you're pre-approved for it, Kristen, which is great. So we'll go ahead and do a clean transfer on your application and just get that to you for signatures. So to be clear, you'd have that 500K of coverage that covers for any cause. They'd pay out double that if you passed away from any catastrophic or accidental cause. That would add some value to your plan.
Yeah, that's good.
Awesome. Yeah, the price point is great. My husband and I even have that coverage. So I'll go ahead and email that to you for signatures. To wrap this up, let me see. To wrap this up, Kristen, as important as it is, to make sure that everything is taken care of on your side, that everything is covered for you. It is my ethical and fiduciary responsibility to make sure that your beneficiary knows how this policy works, since they'll be in charge of making the claim. If it's their husband, then you can kind of go through it with them right there, make sure they have your number saved, everything like that. If it's kids or anything like that, you're going to say, what we can do is, a three-way call, and I can explain how your coverage works, make sure they have my information saved, or I can call them directly. Which would you prefer?
Yeah, you could just give them a call. I know they're busy right now, but they're usually
Okay.
off at 5.
They're off at 5. Okay.
Yeah.
Perfect. Would you be able to let them know that I'll be reaching out so they don't think that I'm some random spam person trying to get information from them?
Yes.
Awesome. I'll be reaching out to them after 5 p.m. from the same number that I gave you, so you can definitely just forward that to them. And I'm just going to let them know kind of what you have set up, how it works, and in what case they would need to reach out to me in case of an emergency.
Perfect.
Sweet. Awesome, Kristen. Well, that's all I got for you today. I'm really glad that we were able to get you approved for this coverage and make sure that in any case you would be taken care of. I'll get that email over to you for the double indemnity. And I'm a phone call or text away if you ever have any questions. So please don't hesitate to reach out to me if you have any questions for me, okay?
Perfect.
Sweet. All right. Click.
Love.
So I know that was a little jumbled because we went over a couple different situations. This does have to be tailored to every single one of your clients, depending on what you set up. It'll depend on what you offer them if you're kind of adding to their plan. And then depending on their beneficiary, if they have a beneficiary that's in the home, then I would be asking for contingents and maybe adding contingents to the plan and reaching out to them, or building out an emergency contact list. Who else would want to reach out to me besides your husband if something did happen? Any questions? Or do you want to add anything, Kristen?
Only that this is how you write 12 applications in a week.
Mm-hmm.
Like this is how Gabrielle
Absolutely.
wrote 12 applications last week. So if you would like to write 12 applications in a week, do what she's saying. No, it's really, really good. I think you use some really big words that can sound intimidating. I would literally have to practice saying double indemnity and fiduciary. But like if that doesn't sound or feel like you guys, change that word for
Totally.
something else and still run the play. Like Gabs can pull that off 'cause she's elegant and poised. But if that is like going to be the most bogus thing coming out of your mouth, maybe like Anna, Anna would never say that. So like just say something that feels like you, but get the point across and like do the play. Run the play that feels like you, but run the play because this is so huge, like so huge. Um, yeah, Anna can pull anything off. I didn't mean to offend you, Anna. I love you.
She said she felt seen. She feels loved.
Oh, good. Perfect. But yeah,
Um,
That's perfect. Keep going. I was going to say something else, but I lost it.
No, I was just gonna say the verbiage is here or there. The most important thing is that you guys have the bullet points and that you can fill in a way that feels authentic to you. Just making sure that you're touching on all five of these things is going to be great because you'll have an opportunity to A, add coverage to what they already have, and then B, an opportunity to get some referral business going as well.
I was going to ask you, Gabs, what are you typically writing as far as final expense for someone who's young? Are you writing an
Just
IUL
25K on an IUL.
on an IUL?
Yeah.
Cool. That's
And
what I
for them,
wanted to
it's so
clarify.
cheap.
Yeah, super cheap.
But
Okay.
you know, yeah, getting all of their needs taken care of because it's so silly as a mortgage protection advisor that they couldn't also come to us for life insurance because we all do both. So there's a really cool opportunity there to serve them on both fronts. Three W's, I'm so sorry. I can expand on that. That's why you wrote it, what you wrote, and who else needs it. Let me put that in the chat.
Cool.
So I touched on that verbally, and you can add that to the slide or something if we need to add that. But reminding your clients why you wrote the coverage, what you actually wrote, and then asking about who else needs it is going to be the three W's.
I think the way you have it all laid out, Gabrielle, is so perfect because I think writing mortgage protection and then, it's intimidating to be like, I also do life insurance. Like, I think that's what people think
Right.
when you're gonna call, you're gonna be like,
Yeah.
well, I also do life insurance. Do you need that too? But the way you frame this is so not that. The way I would define how this feels being on the receiving end and just watching you do it is like, this is serving your clients with excellence. So if that's a goal you have this year, like, this is how you become an excellent producer and how people will just recognize that you went so above and beyond and why they'll trust you with their friends and family. So well done, Gabrielle, for being so disciplined on this. And I know you have a couple more things you want to share with the team. So if you need to
I
share,
do.
feel free to steal it.
Can Okay, go. Can you go back just once?
Yes.
Something that I didn't share, guys, if there is absolutely no opportunity to add to the coverage that they have, this is a great opportunity for resets. This is where I will make a suggestion to say, all right, I'm glad that you have all of your ducks in a row with that. I know on our last call that you mentioned paying off your debt was super important to you. We actually have an entire division of our company dedicated reset. So just if you're not able to add coverage, which is going to happen, keep that in mind. That's a great place to do resets because I was struggling adding that to the end of my application process. It just felt like a lot to schedule the policy review and also be going through resets and putting multiple calls in their calendar. This is a great time to do that. So that's all I was going to say. Let
Cool.
me do that. Um, Last thing I wanted to share, I never get the opportunity to share like some of the real numbers that come from this. I need that personally. I want if I'm going to be like, yes, I'm going to adopt this process, I want to see what it's done for somebody else. And so I'm going to share my counting what counts. We're going to go over my month of January. I'm going to have a vulnerable time with you guys. And we're going to go over some of the things that I've set up to A, keep me accountable to this process, and B, just so you can see how much business this can add to what you're writing on a monthly basis. So I always write the lead level of my clients next to their name. I want you guys to take a note of how many of these were referrals last month. Out of, I'm not sure how many were written,
I
but
think like 21 or something.
yeah, a decent amount of these were referrals. Lots and lots. Some of them were book of business. That's what BOB means, from last year or years before. But without all of this referral business, my numbers would have been a lot lower this year. I think I can do, well, we'll skip that, but
I counted 9
referrals can,
Gabs, referrals and book of business. So that's like half.
that's
Half
like
what I
half.
mean. Yeah.
It can double your business. It's so crazy. And they might be small policies. All of these were on the small end, but that was 2 grand of APV just from referrals.
Hmm.
from one family, which was great. The second thing that I wanted to show you guys is I do keep a little checkbox here on if I send my summary emails. So you can do what Kristen does, and you can set up some time on Friday to go through those. I do my check boxes to make sure I'm sending them to everybody. Um, if if the policy is declined or if they haven't taken the offer yet, then I'll hold off on sending those. But this is a really easy way to keep yourself accountable to that. The second thing that I wanted to show you guys was how I organize referral business. Did this follow me to my funnel?
Yep, you're golden.
Awesome. So I add all of my referrals directly to my CRM so that I'm reaching out to them with the same number that I reached out to my clients with. And so I don't have a bunch of random client numbers just in my phone. For some reason, I need that separation. So I have all of my referrals tagged as referrals in my funnel account. This is
Look at
really
all
easy
this.
to
It's amazing.
This is a whole nother pipeline. These are
Yep.
people I never would have gotten in contact with. It multiplies your business so much to have another, however many this is. This is probably at least 100 people that you can go through and call, which I have before. Um, so this is really easy to set up on platforms like Switchboard Activate. It's a little trickier for Funnel, and I thought I might get some questions about how to do that. So I wanted to share that with you guys. And I've shared this on previous calls I've done, so you might know this already. But if you go to your HQ and you go to Sales Tools, you can go down to FIF and Resets, and you'll click Submit a Reset, just that first button. So over here, you'll add a new referral lead. So let's say I wanted to add Kristen Gaines. Then I would do Kristen Gaines. And this is the trick, y'all. You have to put referral in the name, or else it won't come up in your CRM as a referral. It'll just show up as a random name. So I usually don't, if I have their birthday from the application, because a lot of times you need beneficiaries' birthdays, then I'll put it in there and I'll put their gender. You don't need an address, put their state, and you would put the phone number that you got from the original insured, the primary insured. They should have given you that. If I do an email, I'll actually do the email of the primary insured because if I look at the lead, it helps me remember who it's attached to. So if, let's say this was Kyle and I wanted to remember this was Kristen's referral, then I'll put Kristen's email and I'll change it later. That's just a personal hack. You guys definitely don't have to do that. You can put your own email and then you can put life. Source of referral would be a client referral. And then you'd go ahead and hit save. I'm not going to add file gains to my CRM today, but after you hit save, you can come back to funnel and you're going to just hit sync leads. You'll close that window and you'll give your thing a refresh. I got 2 leads. You'll give your thing a refresh and usually it shows up for you in the next 5 minutes.
That's awesome.
And so at that point, you're going to see something like this. This is the text that I send. If they don't get a hold of them on that first phone call, I'd be happy to add this to the chat for you guys.
Does Funnel send an automation, Gabs?
They don't send an automation, so you do have to send that pesky first message
So
that
you
says,
just do that and then send this.
yep. And that's only if they don't respond. Most of the time, you're getting, like Kristen said, they're free after 5. So you can go and you can, give them a call at that time. They should be expecting your call, so they should pick up. But if for some reason they don't, then I'll go ahead and send this text message out to them. I do leave a voicemail. There's no reason not to with the referral leads. And I'll actually just kind of read what I have in this text and just say, hey, this is Gabrielle. I just tried calling. I helped so and so set up a mortgage protection policy. You're listed as someone who could potentially make a claim for them. I like to do a courtesy call so that you have my information and would know how to file a claim in the event of an emergency. Give me a call back at this number. The reason I say could potentially make a claim for them is because if you are getting like a emergency contact list, you might not be getting just beneficiaries. You might be getting, yeah, my daughter's not on the policy, but she could call you in an emergency. So I switched up that verbiage so it's not always geared towards the beneficiaries. I would say
Preschool
that's
mind blown by Gabrielle.
oh. This is years in the making.
It's really
Um,
good.
that's the long and the short of it though, guys. It you can make this system whatever you need it to be so that you're reaching out. But if you have a few key ingredients, your policy review and some kind of um, process to add coverage for the insured and then getting beneficiary numbers, you're going to see your business. It should be doubling. It should be close to doubling with all of those hot pokers in the fire.
Love it. We maybe have time for like one or two questions if anybody needs clarification on anything. You're like the best trainer, Gab, so I don't think there's any holes in what you just gave.
Awesome. I'm so glad. This was a more tactical, practical call today, guys. But
But who wants to
if
build
you
their
could,
business?
oh yeah,
Everyone. Yes.
you can start doing this early. I started doing this so late, and I wish I'd been doing it from day one. I see so many faces that could incorporate this from day one, and you're going to have such a full pipeline if you can. Sweet.
If nobody has a question, I'll make a comment.
Beautiful.
Man, this was phenomenal. When you start building your business, you're going to hear a lot. Hire people who are better than you. These two ladies are far superior in this business than I ever was in the time that you have been here. I've been around for a long, long time, and I do know a lot of things, but early on, what you two ladies have developed, implemented, like you are two of the best people in this agency as far as working on your processes, finding like trying something. If it doesn't work, making it better, asking around, like figuring out what works for Kristen, what works for Gabrielle. And sometimes some of what works for Kristen will work for Gabrielle and vice versa. And then that's how each one of us develops our process and our system that's going to work for us. And so you two ladies, like I'm going to suggest, guys, like obviously try what Gabrielle is doing. I am going to do this. Like I am absolutely going to try what Gabrielle is doing. Here's why I say try, because I have to figure out how her process works for me. So I'm going, because I have nothing really, I am going to try her process and develop and find my process within hers. Does that make sense? That's why I'm using the word try. I have to go out and do it to develop what's working for me. And it might be very, very similar to exactly what you're doing, but I'm going to go out and develop my own, probably through a lot of your processes. So good, ladies. I love watching the both of you train and teach all of us. So thank you. Goodness, this was fun. So fun.
Yeah. I think
Thanks
if
so
we
much,
can all just
Jennifer.
kind of commit to like, my appointment's not over until I try this. Like your appointment's not over until you run this play. And then you're forced to like do the policy review next week and it's another appointment on the calendar. It's just beautiful. So this call will be uploaded on YouTube by the end of today. So if you guys want to go back and listen to Gabrielle do that again, write it out, practice it before you run the play, but run the play this week. Like that would be our challenge to you guys. Like do it scared, and we're all here to answer questions if you botch it. What's the worst that can happen? They say no. Who cares?
I love it. Thanks for setting this up, Kristen. Thank you for all your hard work and all the resources that you give to everybody. I know that they can go back and reference like the summary email and all of that, but Kristen hand makes that for all of us, guys. It's pretty awesome that we get to use those.
Well, This team is a gift. So let's have an awesome week, everyone. Thank you, Gabrielle, for being our
Sweet.
teacher today.
My
Bye,
pleasure. Thank you
guys.
guys. Happy Monday. We'll see you later.